The Androscoggin River Valley. The places, the people, the history, all that makes up the vital story of the Androscoggin Valley in western Maine.
Hello and welcome to the October 2018 edition of Today River Valley. Today River Valley is the video news feature program for the towns of the Androscoggin Valley in western Maine. My name is Phil Blampede. I'm the host and producer of the program. A little over a decade ago, it became evident that many professional football players were suffering permanent brain damage from the head injuries they'd received while playing football. It didn't take long for the public to become concerned that school children playing school sports might be suffering similar injuries. As a result, new policies and procedures have been put in place by coaches and schools to protect children against head injuries, known as concussions, and to cope with them when they occur. In this edition, we're going to be looking at how those policies and procedures are playing out in the River Valley and the rest of Maine. All that after messages from local businesses.
Today River Valley is sponsored by the Sudbury Inn, lodging, fine dining, and a lively pub right on Main Street in Bethel, Maine.
So my friend says he's planning a trip to Bethel, Maine. So I say, you'll love the Sudbury Inn. And he says, Sudbury Inn, what's that? I say, are you kidding? You haven't been to Bethel till you've been to the Sudbury Inn. For your information, this gracious 1873 country inn is located in the heart of Bethel. And despite the premium location, the rates are reasonable. The inn has 3 dining rooms, world-class cuisine upstairs, and pub food served downstairs. Downstairs, now that's something else. That's where the famous Suds Pub has live music. Every Thursday night is Hoot Night, where the local musicians gather and get up and strut their stuff. And I tell them, if you're going with some friends, think about renting one of the suites that includes a kitchen and a lounge area. Hey, if the dog comes along, the suites are pet-friendly too. The Sudbury Inn, they say, is the perfect way to end the day in Bethel. You really haven't been to Bethel if you haven't been to the Sudbury Inn.
Climb on board for a great new career on the open road with tractor-trailer, truck, and school bus driving training at the Region 9 Truck Driving Program in Mexico, Maine.
Hi, my name is Ed Naples. I work here at Region 9, and I've been doing this training for 30-something years. We teach truck driving, Class A and Class B, and school bus driver training. There are a lot of jobs out there available for trucking. There's a lot of companies are making a lot of products, needing more drivers. There are drivers retiring. There's some wonderful opportunities there. Trucking jobs and bus driving jobs are always available, right? No matter what's happening with the economy, there's a product that needs to be hauled. And if you like driving, you like being out there, seeing the countryside, our truck driver training can get you into that direction. Money is a possible problem for you. A lot of companies are looking at tuitioning students in to come and get trained. And work schedules, same thing. If your schedule is a little tight, we can work with you on that there. So give us a call and see what we can work out for you.
Now open in Rumford Center, Munchie's Pizza and Seafood. Eat in, take out, or delivered to your door.
Hi, my name is Dustin. Welcome to Munchie's, located at 1371 Route 2 in Rumford. We offer great pizza and seafood at great prices, and you can also come in and watch the game. Come check us out.
Munchie's open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. October is here, but there are still a few weeks left for camping, kayaking, sluicing for precious stones, and walking the Burma Bridge at Bethel Outdoor Adventure on Route 2 in Bethel, Maine. Camp in the crisp autumn air in the renowned Riverside Campground, Canoe or kayak and see the early foliage from a panoramic vantage in the middle of the Androscoggin River, or take a fun walk over the river on the Burma Bridge. Bethel Outdoor Adventure will be open for another few weeks before closing for the winter, so now's the time to grab your outdoor adventure at Bethel Outdoor Adventure.
So we would be delighted to have you come and see what we have to offer.
Hi, this is Roger Whitehouse of Riverside Realty in Mexico, Maine, and you're watching Today River Valley, the video news feature program of the Androscoggin Valley in western Maine.
When over a decade ago it began to be recognized that professional football players were developing long-term brain injury from years of receiving concussions while playing, concern quickly shifted to whether something similar might be happening to children and teenagers playing football. There were some who advocated ending football entirely in high school and younger grades. But school football remains alive and well in Maine and elsewhere in the country, thanks in part to changes in the way the game is played, taught, and regulated. And those involved with the game are comfortable that the approach is the right one.
So we have some real health problems in the state of Maine that are emergencies, and specifically childhood obesity. Childhood obesity in the state of Maine should be one of our priorities. Limiting access to physical activities such as football is wrong. Should 6-year-olds be doing head-on-head tackling? No, that doesn't make sense. I think football needs to be structured in a way that it's safe and developmentally appropriate. And then, yes, I think it can be played very well. There's a lot of data that's going on about teaching proper tackling technique in football. I think that's stuff that needs to happen, but no, outlawing football I don't believe should happen.
I think the one thing that I would say is that at this point in time, nobody questions the importance of concussion awareness and that what can happen with a traumatic brain injury.
The heightened awareness of the connection between head injuries in sports and eventual brain disease developed when professional football players like the Pittsburgh Steelers' Mike Webster were shown to have suffered and sometimes died from a degenerative brain disease known as chronic traumatic encephalopathy. In Maine, the concern led in 2012 to a state statute requiring schools to have a concussion policy, to train coaches on how to deal with and prevent concussions, and to remove students from games if they appear to have suffered a concussion. Dr. Paul Berkner heads the Maine Concussion Management Initiative based at Colby College in Waterville and has played a central role in helping implement concussion policies in school sports, but says the risk for school athletes is much less than that for professionals.
So there is no data that supports the fact that a concussion is related to a neurodegenerative disorder. There's a whole bunch of information out there around what's called chronic traumatic encephalopathy in a small group of retired football players, and that's the only connection at this point in time. So there is no link between sustaining a concussion and suffering long-term neurological trauma.
While the long-term effects of concussions aren't understood yet, the Coach's Handbook of the Maine Principals Association states that recent research shows that young athletes are particularly vulnerable to the effects of concussion. It defines concussions as a type of brain injury that interferes with normal brain function and can take 2 weeks or longer to clear up. According to the handbook, quote, "There is no such thing as a minor brain injury."
I have seen students who had difficult injuries that resulted in concussions that limited their ability to get through an academic curriculum. But certainly I've seen students in my time who have taken months, if not years, to recover fully from concussion.
Hannah Willahan is a project administrator for the Maine Concussion Management Initiative.
Most people will report a headache, but a headache in and of itself doesn't mean that you have a concussion. The difficult piece about recognizing concussion is that most of the symptoms are also symptoms of life. So it's the combination of several symptoms that could indicate concussion that we're looking for. Sleepiness, not feeling like yourself, just feeling off. Difficulty with focus or concentration, dizziness, blurriness, double vision, nausea and vomiting. Dr. Berkner will often say, you see one concussion and you've seen one concussion. No two are alike.
I think that for most individuals who have good access to care, it's one more thing that they have to manage. I think the vast majority of individuals who suffer concussion, who receive appropriate medical and educational accommodations, care and accommodations, do really well with their concussions. I think there's a small percentage who don't, but we can identify those. However, the problem is for those individuals who don't have good access to care. This does more than a sprained ankle or a broken leg. It really can affect their educational outcomes. So for those individuals who have poor access to care, my worry is that they're the ones who are at the greatest risk for long-term outcomes. The number of concussions that occur is probably around 5 to 10% per year if you look at all sports. One of the things, however, we're changing is to change the conversation away from just football and to the fact that concussions are an injury that occur across multiple platforms, not just sports or athletics, but also in recreation.
According to the Maine Principals Association, the concussion rate per 100,000 athlete exposures is highest for football at 77, followed by 63 for boys ice hockey, 47 for boys lacrosse, 33 for girls soccer, 31 for girls lacrosse, 27 for field hockey, and 24 for wrestling. Other sports are lower, but even cheerleading causes a few concussions.
Again, there's a lot of talk about concussions in the sport of football, but this goes across every activity. That there isn't one activity that we have where we're not dealing with, the head injuries.
But football remains a focus for the issue, probably because it came to the public's attention due to the experience of professional football players, and because most statistics show it does have the highest incidence of concussions. In the next segment, we'll look at what Maine coaches and administrators are doing to make high school football a safer game. Coulthard's on the River Road in Mexico, Maine wants to remind you that gift-giving season isn't too far away, and it's never too early to plan for a really special gift such as a spa or a pool. Coulthard's now features the Strong Spa line, an American-made brand with a unique outer cover that gives the spa the ability to withstand wear, pressure, or damage, and protects against cracking, fading, rotting, rusting, or tearing. Strong Spas is so confident in the durability of their spas that they offer a lifetime warranty. And in the meantime, if you already have a pool, remember that Coulthard's offers the full services you need to close your pool for the season. Coulthard's, 32 years in business on the River Road in Mexico, Maine. Call 364-POOL and visit the showroom soon.
Hi, I'm Roger Whitehouse, owner and designated broker of Riverside Realty here at Mexico, Maine. October means Halloween and all kinds of spooky and scary things. But one thing you never have to be scared about is buying or selling a house. Because at Riverside Realty, we had the experience and the knowledge to get you through the process smoothly and easily so you don't get spooked by all the details. Let's look at some properties you could spirit away this month.
This is MLS 1367439, a lovely 4-bedroom, 3-bath country home with in-law apartment, plus a 14x60 2-bedroom mobile home on the lot for added income. The home boasts elevator entry to the second level, custom-built cabinets and 2 lovely kitchens, dining areas, and lots of living area. Beautiful manicured landscaping and lots of privacy, attached 1-car garage with direct entry to the residence, plus a detached 3-car garage. Only minutes from shopping and area sports like fishing, swimming, skiing, snowmobiling, biking, and hiking, and much more. Listed at $295,000. This is MLS 1316908, a beautiful contemporary with 6 acres more or less. It has a sunroom with southwestern exposure, 3 bedrooms, 1 full bath and 2 half baths, lovely gardens, fruit trees, blueberry bushes and grapevines, great mountain views, 2 small ponds on the property, and lots of walking trails. It's a very well-maintained property with a 2-car garage and storage sheds, listed at $239,900.
Whether you're considering buying or selling real estate, call Riverside Realty at 369-0100.
Good Karma Cafe and Health Foods is the place to go for lunch in Rumford.
Hey, it's the Unknown Comic. I'm back here at Good Karma Cafe and Health Foods. All summer long, we've been out here digging up Congress Street. We've been digging up, digging in, digging it, and moving some serious earth. And when I get famished after all that digging, I like to come over to Good Karma. Why is that?
For some earth-moving specials.
That's right, we're gonna come over to Good Karma and dig in for some soups, some salads, some wraps, some paninis. We're gonna do all kinds of eating. We're gonna shovel that food right in.
And we're gonna clean it up, digging it.
Da, 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 da. Good Karma Cafe and Health Foods, Rumford, Maine, USA.
Good Karma Cafe and Health Foods, open Monday through Saturday. Fall is in the air. Time to think about heading to Puya Lumber on the River Road in Mexico, Maine for the supplies and tools you'll need to get ready for cold weather. For instance, wood pellets. Puya stocks the Maine Woods brand. That's their name and that's their description because they're made right here in Maine. If your windows need updating, consider our Atrium line of premium vinyl windows designed for energy efficiency and lasting beauty. And if your wood stove needs upgrades, Puya has the stovepipe and supplies you'll need. Puya Lumber, 369 River Road, Route 2 in Mexico, Maine. Call 364-9999. Free delivery on orders over $50.
Among the great questions of life are the appliance conundrums. Sure, you can buy a refrigerator, washing machine, or dryer at a store, but how will you get it home? If you get it home, who will bring it inside and carry up the stairs to that little nook behind the bathroom where you want it to go? And if you get it up the stairs, who will install it and be sure it's working?
At Larson's, we have the answer to those great mysteries. In fact, we are the answer. We deliver, install, and service everything we sell. We even haul off your old equipment. Larson's, over 60 years in business at 13 Main Street, Mexico, Maine.
Hi, this is Glenn Gordon at Good Karma Cafe and Health Foods at 72 Congress Street in Rumford, Maine. And you're watching Today River Valley, the video news feature program of towns in the Androscoggin Valley in western Maine.
As indicated in the previous segment, public concern in Maine about the risk of concussions to school-age athletes was so great that in 2012, the legislature actually passed a law outlining how schools should handle the problem. The impetus was the wide reporting of the cases of professional football players who wound up with a brain disease, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, from years of head injuries during their careers. No studies have yet shown that school sports may also create long-term problems, but students experiencing concussions do experience unpleasant symptoms and have trouble with schoolwork that can last weeks or months. Since the problem was revealed through football, and there are more concussions in school football than other sports, a special focus has been put on making the sport safer for school-aged athletes.
We require all of our coaches, and that's from sub-varsity up through volunteer and stipended coaches, to watch the concussion video.
Mike Burnham is an assistant executive director of the Maine Principals Association, a nonprofit organization that organizes and oversees the high school sports leagues in Maine.
We also suggest that within each school department, they have their own protocol, that they have a concussion management team, that they develop a policy that not only returns the athletes back to the playing field, but also back into the classroom, because just as important as playing the games is being back in the classroom and getting the full academic needs met.
All the coaches need to take a concussion training protocol through a football agency over the summer. It's an online course. Equipment's been updated. They've given us everything we need to know as far as identifying concussions. We can't diagnose them because we're not doctors, but we're definitely on the lookout. Pat Mooney, I'm the head coach of Mountain Valley Football here in Rumford. It's a funny thing, they do happen. I'm not sure if they happen with the prevalence that the media kind of portrays sometimes. There's really nothing you can do because of the nature of the game and the speed of play. You do get collateral damage. The 2 concussions that I remember from the past 4 years were because of whiplash, somebody's head hitting somebody else or heads hitting the ground. All you can really do is teach the proper technique and hope that everyone else on the field does it and that everyone's head is out of the play. We teach them, do not use your head. You know, if you're going in to make a tackle on somebody, your head needs to be out of the play. You use your chest, you use your body, and you wrap and drive with your legs. The head should not be used as a weapon at any point.
So obviously you don't want your athletes to go on a tackle and lead with their head. If the running back is running, say, to the right, then we have them slide their head to the outside of the running back and wrap with their arms. Mainly attack like with their shoulders, not their helmet.
Is that harder to do than just diving head first?
No, it's just a technique that you have to teach the kids. And then we've been teaching the younger kids also, so it's kind of like a all the way up through. Because we have youth football from 2nd grade all the way through to 8th grade. I'm Tim O'Connor, the head football coach of Telstar Regional High School. I'd say we probably get like 1 or 2 a year. We haven't had any this year so far. Last year we had 1, and then we had another one that was a possible 1.
There are other things. As far as blocking goes, the old school method was use your flipper and get your body into the play. We kind of teach more of blocking with hands, getting up inside the shoulder pads. Again, everything we teach, you get the head out of the play. And we make that very clear to them.
There is a question as to whether equipment could be designed to reduce concussions, but the likelihood isn't great.
Companies tend to package their product as concussion-proof. There is no concussion-proof helmets, but we are getting the best that we can as far as reputation goes for safety.
No one's been able to show that helmets prevent concussions. They're basically designed as a motorcycle helmet for those high velocity, high impact that cause skull fractures. They're not designed to reduce the number of concussions, and that's been clearly shown that they don't reduce the number of concussions.
Many schools have adopted impact testing, which can measure how severe a concussion a student may have.
You know, the impact testing, which we've been doing for years, is a way to evaluate the cognitive effects of concussions. And if you have cognitive effects, we can work with the schools to accommodate your classrooms and your test schedules and those sorts of things so that you're getting the assistance you need within school as well.
On September 15th, 2018, Telstar High School played Booth Bay at the Telstar campus in Bethel, Maine, a notable match since both teams have struggled to have a sufficient number of students on the roster to have a full season. Smaller squads like these are seen possibly as increasing the risk of concussions, as players have to stay on the field longer and smaller students get in the game more often. With school enrollment declining throughout Maine, the Maine Principals Association is considering introducing 8-man instead of 11-man football for some of the smaller schools.
Well, I think just by the numbers that if you're playing with a smaller roster size and the kids are participating in more of the games for a greater part of the game, then the risk of injury certainly increases. And then along with that, you may be playing some students, if you don't have many kids on your roster, that physically may not match up against another school and the size of their athletes. So sometimes you see, a disparity just in the size and ability of kids from different schools. We changed our policy on cooperative teams where 2 or 3 schools can come together if their numbers are insufficient to have a full roster and join together and make one team. And in a number of our sports, certainly in ice hockey, the majority of our teams are cooperative teams where the schools have joined together. We're seeing more and more football schools doing that, as well as some other schools. I think the other thing our football committee is looking at is the possibility of introducing 8-man football, where with a smaller roster size, you don't need to have 11 people on the field, and that we're in hopes to get the support of that. And some of those schools with smaller rosters might be better off playing 8-man football. Football is embedded in a number of communities that there really is nothing like a Friday night football game to bring a community together, or a Saturday afternoon if you don't have lights. It is certainly one of those activities that builds community pride.
The Jolly Drayman Pub and the Briarley Inn, a gracious inn in Bethel, Maine with an authentic British pub featuring classic pub fare. Let's just say that people who know the Briarley Inn and Jolly Drayman Pub love the Briarley Inn and Jolly Drayman Pub. Here's what some recent guests had to say.
Awesome place, awesome people. It was a cozy and comfortable place.
Great stay and food was perfect. Love the beer selection. We'll be back.
Thanks for the great accommodations. I'm glad my husband talked me out of camping.
The Jolly Drayman, the authentic British pub in Bethel, Maine, located in the Briarley Inn. For new construction or renovations, or to tighten up that basement, there are few better investments than foam insulation. And in Western Maine, it's Dixfield Foam Insulation. Foam insulation is the best insulation on the market. It does not sag or settle like other insulation, and it maintains its R value for decades. That means that in the long run, the savings on heating and cooling costs will far exceed the cost of installing it in the first place. With foam insulation, there's no air leakage. It creates its own vapor barrier, and it's resistant to moisture. The rigidity of the product even serves to add to the structural integrity of the framing of the building. Foam insulation is ideal for new construction or renovations where the studs are going to be exposed, but it's also great for tightening up basements in any building. Have a difficult to seal rock wall foundation or a leaky, drafty basement? Seal it with foam insulation and keep air and water out. Dixfield Foam Insulation offers free, no obligation estimates.
I'm Tim with Dixfield Foam Insulation. Give us a call, we'll give you a free estimate.
Call 207-418-9394 or 207-441-3630 for a no-obligation consultation. And check our Facebook page for more information. Meanwhile, at the Verizon Wireless Zone in Mexico, Maine...
Bill, did you know that you can find just about anything that you need in a smartphone nowadays?
You know, I really have everything I need here in this bag.
We'll see about that. Oh, you're not going to need this if you have a new smartphone on America's Best network. And a calculator? You're most definitely not going to need this. A calendar? Your new smartphone will have a calendar already built into the phone that not only helps you with appointments, but also sets reminders.
Now I suppose you're going to tell me that this smartphone will show me where to get a hamburger? Huh?
As a matter of fact, yes, it will.
Remember, at the Verizon Wireless Store in Mexico, we're always striving to be your cell phone provider of choice.
Excuse me, sir, are you getting a little shaggy around the ears but can't find time for a haircut? Well, now you can. At Lisa's Barbershop at 178 Main Street in Mexico, owner Lisa Shardlow specializes in quick haircuts. No appointment is necessary and there's rarely a wait. At Lisa's, the motto is cut and go.
Well, it's October when the shadows lengthen and the ghouls and goblins you might run into could just make your hair stand on end, which makes you look pretty darn silly. With a fresh fall haircut here at Lisa's, we can be sure your hair is a neat short cut, which will be guaranteed to preserve your dignity no matter what goes bump in the night.
Lisa's, open Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 9 to noon.
Lisa's, your local source for ghost-proof haircuts.
At Dan's Automotive, you'll find reliable used cars in the $2,000 to $8,000 range. You'll get more car for less money. These are brands that are known for their reliability and long life, and each is mechanically updated, even including new timing belts when needed. Come browse the lot at 625 Crescent Avenue in Rumford and grab your car before someone else does. Here's a great example of what you'll find at Dan's Automotive. Warning, this will probably be sold by the time you see this ad, but if you get lucky, you may still have a chance at this 2004 Ford F-150 Super Cab. A four-wheel drive V8 with only 92,000 miles, this truck is loaded. Just $8,995.
We bought our car at Dan's and we're glad we did.
Dan's Automotive Repair and Sales, Crescent Avenue, Rumford.
Today River Valley is sponsored by the Sudbury Inn, lodging, fine dining, and a lively pub right on Main Street in Bethel, Maine.
That's it for the October 2018 edition of Today River Valley. This is Phil Blampy, the host and producer of the program. Remember that you can find this edition and links to past programs at www.todayrivervalley.com. Well, with wood smoke starting to spice the air and a cup of fresh hard cider from this year's apples to spice yourself, this month in Maine really can be life as it's meant to be. Enjoy.